Okay, first thing we need to do is build the island. The island in Living the Dream is actually made out of squares, just like Minecraft, so that made getting everything to be in the same proportions quite easy. I decided upon using 2x2 area for each square and 1 block tool as well, as I feel it best matched the player scale that I was going for. Once that was decided, it was easy to just fill out the island with the corresponding block, that being either grass or moss. I added a small border around the island and then moved on to the beaches, which were much the same as the rest of the island. Now that the base of the island has been constructed, it was time to give it a little bit of life. Plant life, to be specific. I first went around adding in all the tall grass patches and bushes that were scattered along the edges. I then designed a simple palm tree that I just copy and pasted into all of its positions around the island. After placing the last one, it was time to build the fountain. I started with the flooring underneath the fountain, and it turned out to be quite the challenge, trying to get in all the detail. I went through so many variations and changes until I had the final design down. After which, I actually built the fountain itself. I added in streamlights to try and mimic the warm fuzzies inside it. At this point in the build, I was still just playing the demo version, but now that I have my hands on the full release, it's time to start working on those houses. For these, I'm going to be basing the colours off of the houses on my own island. I tried my best to get in as much of the small details as I could on the building, and I think it turned out really well. It looks just like it. The rest of the houses were basically the same. I just had to swap out the colour palette and a few of the small exterior details. If you're wondering who I've got living on my island so far, I have me, Jake, Yuji, Freerun, Vern, and Finn in the last house that I'll get to later on. Let me know in the comments who you've got in your island if you're playing. To finish off the houses, I redid all of the ground to add in the stone and the pathways. Anyway, now I think it's time to move on to the Fresh Kingdom. Most of the shops in this game have quite detailed and interesting designs, which did make building them a lot more difficult. Fresh Kingdom mostly consisted of bamboo planks, and I was able to make use of stairs to create the lines on the shopping cart as well. For the food inside the shopping cart, I tried my best to match the ones in game, and it actually turned out really well, I'd say. So now it's on to the Where and Where shop. I found this one to be quite challenging to get all of the little details in. For the roof, I mostly used dark prismarine and polished diorite, which were the closest matching blocks in my opinion. Well, ones that had slabs and stairs anyway. Whilst I was building this, I discovered that the shop has posters on the outside that show your Miis posing in different outfits, which I thought was pretty awesome. Enough with that though, now we're moving on to TNC Reno. This building was a lot simpler than the others, mostly flat walls and windows. Unfortunately, I was unable to get any interior done for this one, as there just wasn't enough room inside by the time the exterior was complete. I think it looks good though, even without the interior. So with that, next we are building the quick build shop. I mostly use stone and lime concrete, as unfortunately there aren't any blocks with slabs and stairs counterparts in that kind of colour. So the roof looks a little blockier than I would have liked, but the rest of the build looks pretty good. I was able to add in a bunch of detail around the bottom and a little inside. That completes all of the shops so far. So next up is the final house. Before I could build this, I had to add in the remaining terrain. 2 small islands and then a big one that actually ended up connecting to the main island. I decided after playing the full game that I would end this build looking how it does after you've completed the tutorial and unlocked free roam basically. So now all that is left is the final house, which I just swapped out the colour palette once again. Oh, I nearly forgot the light posts around the island. Now the build is complete. As always, thank you for watching. If you enjoy, consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. It would be greatly appreciated. Special thanks to all of my supporters on Patreon, which is where you can purchase this build along with all of my other builds, link in the description. Let me know what else you want to see me build in the future, and with that, I'll see you in the next one, gamers. Goodbye.